You have several people who are holding on to you, covering you with their bodies, making sure that the large stones aren't going to hit your frame, instead going to barrel down upon them. Chato.
I have an armor of 2.
Bludgeoning.
Yeah, right?
And 1.
Just but a scratch. I busted this one out as we're running.
So the hard leather of Kamon's stolen armor holds onto both of you as you feel large 2 5-pound stones just impact you and fall upon you. It's like you've both been hit by softballs. And you shield Jenny from any particular mishap as you lay on the floor, all of you in some kind of embrace, as small bits of rubble and plaster lay around you, and it is quiet.
It took 10 years to push them back, but we did. What was once a prosperous river trade, the Mississippi, is now the front line. The eastern states supply the river states, and what's left of the UA live out their meager days self-policing. What is the West hiding? Nobody really knows for sure. But we're alive. And this is the new frontier.
Welcome back to the final episode of this season of We're Alive Frontier. I am so happy that you made it through the siege. You did destroy the entire government building.
It was bound to happen.
But we didn't destroy Jenny. We didn't destroy Jenny or Chato or anyone else.
I have removed the numbers of all of the bogeys from your siege warfare, and we are back to survival points.
Because we removed the bogeys from there.
Yes, you did.
right.
Yes, you did. But yeah, I think our story is going to pick right up right where we left it. You have seen the fall of Kamon's palace, which is now, well, I guess the front is still pretty well intact, but the back don't look so good.
And to clarify, it is nighttime, because that's when it
Yes.
started, but it was
Yes.
how many hours? 2, 3 hours?
3 hours.
3 hours?
So
About
you're
3
looking
hours.
at very much the dead of night.
Okay.
Is what you're essentially doing.
Gotcha.
So it is late.
Form up.
Form up.
Yeah. Form up again and move towards the front carefully, but see if there's any forces still in front of the building.
As you walk forward through or around?
Around, along the edge,
Around
but
the
like
edge.
carefully, because I'm still expecting active
More
hostiles
people,
on
yes.
the other side.
It's dark. Visibility is low. You are in a cloudy night, so you don't even have the starlight to kind of help and guide you around. Are we doing a formation?
Yeah, I motion Wraith forward.
Wraith help.
All right, so formation Wraith is point.
Yeah, you want me to roll a stealth?
I do want
Check.
you to roll a stealth.
Oh, that's not that great. 1 degree of failure, which I am actually going to buy off with a competence point.
Okay, so you've burnt one of the competence points in this session. As the team moves forward into where Kamon's forces were tented or held up. As you get closer, the trebuchet that you at one point heard was firing seems to now be gone.
I want to do a spot listen up above to make sure that I can to check for Manupal and anyone else from above.
It's really dark, Ray.
So nothing.
I mean, at this point, you can't even see where the buildings are
Okay,
at this point. You
okay.
can see the dark shapes, occasionally the silhouettes of the buildings against the dark skyline.
Okay.
But, I mean,
There's nothing.
he would have a tough time seeing any of you in this blackened night.
So
These men are not honorable enough to claim their own dead. There must be infected close.
Wraith, they eat them.
I don't think so. It seemed like Kamon was the instigator for cannibalism. Kolarm seemed to be against it.
I think we should head back to Osage Villa and regroup.
And be mindful of traps. They've done it before.
Maybe we can be up against, if we can find any kind of walls, to at least have one side of us.
In fact, sweep back around. So like bring our remaining 4 back around the back of the manor towards Osage Villa.
So you're not going to go in front, you're going to go around. Take
Double
the
back
time.
and go around. Yeah.
Right, so you take the time to go back around the building to where you had the collapsed building and back, and you are aware of the rushing sound of the Missouri River as it is continuing to flood very, very heavily. In fact, you hear it's a lot louder than it normally is. It's as if, maybe there was a storm upstream and now the river is swelling quite a bit.
Gotta keep an eye out for river runners. If they're coming up from the bottom, they're coming up from the river as well. Keep moving.
Keep moving.
Great. You keep moving. As you move along, you cut around the back of the palace and then head down the street to where you see the small burning fires of Osage Villa and these tiny, tiny little camping lean-tos that have a patrol or a sentry against a lean-to with a small campfire placed out in front. He seems to be eating dried rations.
I send about 10 of our guys forward. I mean, this man should be a friend.
Right.
So he should be happy to see them when they come walking up.
Right. As you take your men forward, hold on,
I let them go.
Yeah, you let them go. As you send the men forward, you can see that this man is eating, sitting next to the campfire, and you hear one of your 10 men who have come forward. You hear him shout out, "Hail!" And then you watch as the man sits up as quick as he can. He pulls a rifle back and he fires right into the crowd, just without even a second thought. He just freaks out and you hear as the crack of the gunshot comes out and one of your men falls over, flat dead as he skids across the front of the dirt. And he runs into the Osage Villa as quick as he possibly can.
We don't get to shoot at him? He had time to shoot and run before we can shoot him once?
No, you could shoot him once.
Yeah. I mean, anybody want to shoot besides me?
I want to try to stop this.
I think it was a mistake.
yeah.
We jumped him. I don't think we should shoot him.
5,
He's
4,
getting shot.
Can I shoot him in the ankle?
He's getting shot.
I'm shooting for his ankle.
But say with my 3 degrees of success, I put it in his leg.
You let Rafe do it too.
Right.
My bow is 62. 1 degree of success.
Okay. So you're doing 1 for a called shot on his leg,
Yes.
and then you're gonna roll damage?
Yes.
Or do you want some other narrative?
I want my bolt to go his gun arm, the gun that he was shooting with, staple that to the wall when he's running back.
So you want to pin his gun arm.
Hold him in place.
You're gonna need
The stapler.
You're gonna in the dark with this much distance. Even though he's got a fire on him, I want all 3.
You can have it.
Okay. All right. So roll just base damage.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, I guess. 4.
4. Okay. Right in between Iratus and Olna. So, as he's running forward with his rifle into his wrist, just a bolt just goes, and he screams, "Ah! Ah!" Are you all approaching him, or like the other
What
men?
happened with my 1 success?
How would you like to narrate your last
I
success?
mean, I just wanted to pin him through the ankle to the ground.
Oh my god.
That would be a 1 shot. So you can roll damage against him, but 1 for the called shot. Yeah, the same way. It needed 3 to get his arm situation done. If you want to put 1 into his ankle, you can roll damage.
I guess this is just the graze. So
Yeah,
it's
graze
just-
is cool.
Just 1 die. Okay,
It's literally a
excellent.
1. So you watch as this bolt goes right in here and he screams, "Ah!" And then an arrow like lands right next to his head, is now like a shaft is now kind of right in front of his face, and it silences his scream just out of nowhere as he stops. But you hear whimpering.
We run forward to him. We run forward to him. We go, "It's okay. We're sorry. You shot first. We had to shoot."
Here, ah!
Okay. Let me take a look at it.
It is right, like through his wrist, through the tendons.
Major arteries.
Well, it's bleeding. It's
Yeah.
bleeding. I mean, it's bleeding.
Make sure he's one of ours.
I don't think he's shooting at people.
He just shot at people.
Were you shooting at humans or were you shooting at the Chinook? Tell me now. Now.
The Chinook.
There it is. No, there it is.
Okay. While the conversation's
Skinwalkers.
happening, I'm gonna try to work on it.
Okay.
I wave everybody. Either way, we're all coming forward.
All right. So you.
Skinwalker's been spotted in this area.
I can't tell. It could be Kalarm's forces. I mean, they came and they raided into here. They took everything. Some of us were able to hide and stay away, but they gutted the place.
And the Chinook. Chinook are still here?
The Chinook. I still don't. Chateau, what's happening, man?
Right when he says what's happening, man.
I have 1 degree of success on first aid kit.
I do that. Take it back.
Bad.
He killed a man. I don't feel bad if he's got
But
a
I
sore
also,
arm.
that's the end of my kit.
Okay.
So I wrap him up, and it's just the leftovers
Okay.
of whatever I can
Give me the
to
card.
stabilize it.
Give me the card.
Yeah.
Give me the card. Give me the card.
I just.
Baby.
This was the one that we rebuilt.
That was
right?
Didn't
Ray's.
we But didn't we restock that one with the medical
We did.
supplies?
I rolled 2 and one was exploding, so it was way over 10.
Well, there was an entire battle.
It was.
Right.
I assumed it was. It's
Use the last bit of your equipment and your leftover medical gear as you
It was just the
basically
remains anyway.
press this thing right
Motion
against it.
all of our remaining forces inside the buildings. This is their home, so they're gonna know like immediately if something's weird.
Right.
Traps, Chanu, ambush, like.
And their home is wrecked. It is. Looks like a tornado went through the whole place. Barter, material, scavenge, all of it.
You, what's your name?
Hello, Scott.
Luska. Okay, so you're gonna have to apply the pressure to this yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
okay?
yeah. I got it,
You're
I
gonna have
got
to change this bandage out as often as you can. Try to keep it clean. Can you tell us what happened here?
Shortly after you all left, Kilmar came with a small force and attempted to siege the villa. We held them back for as long as we could, but this place was meant to be protected and guarded. Oh, we killed many of them. We showed them that we weren't one to be run over, but we all had to retreat up into the upper levels.
Why are you still here?
Well, they left. They left shortly after. They took everything. And so I've been out here watching guard to make sure that I can warn anyone if Chanu or Killarn came back.
How many of you are still alive here?
Several dozen? Less than 100?
The Gov man, basically, like put his arm around me and myself, and kind of bring him forward.
Okay.
And I'm all like,
Oh, Gov! Oh, Gov! Oh, are you all right? Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm good, Alaska. Now, where is everybody? Oh, Govman, that's why he's called Govman. Govman, they're upstairs. We've been hiding inside the entire time. I didn't think you'd come back. I'm so sorry. I did what I could, but there was just too many. He's like, yeah, I know, I know, man. Alaska, it's fine. He puts his one good hand on his shoulder. He goes, let's get everyone inside and just see how bad the damage is. Or at least let's hold up until this all blows over and the light can show us exactly what we're dealing with. Okay, Gov. Okay.
same thing. As soon as we're in, institute a new watch on this place, especially because this is their home. Like, you guys tell me where we need eyes, type thing.
Yeah.
Right. Alaska would make an oil lamp so that you could see as you're walking through the
Maybe
atrium.
we shouldn't leave a dead body right next to the
Yeah,
river.
yeah. Let's
for
grab
sure.
let's grab let's grab the person who got
Look
shot. and
at
take
you
it with us.
guys taking care
Grab
of the
person,
dead.
yeah.
Oh, Ken.
You take the body inside as you go through the atrium, and as you're walking through, you're occasionally having to kick fallen debris as parts of stands have fallen down, and you can see that most of the open bazaar is just in complete disarray. There's broken clay jugs, as well as like small effigies. There are mostly children inside of the villa in the upstairs when you find them. Mostly women, mostly children, people who were not looking for a fight and instead are held up, but not doing well. They're not injured, but they're all scared, and they do all seem hungry.
The city is an absolute wreck. We have to get these people out of here, and we all have to go. It's not worth it.
No, Kalarm is broken, but not defeated.
I don't care. I don't care about this guy. I don't care about this city. What are
Then
we
go
still
and
doing
fix
here?
your train. You can go.
We should do
We
that.
will drive them out. We will not leave. We will drive them out.
So you have time through this night, Chato. There is still several hours until the dawn. There may be a way that you can all have what you want. Chato, you have what is left of the militia that you brought over with you, including the few meager forces that are left in the villa. Before the dawn of the 7th day comes, you can potentially either go together to go and investigate these various parts of Osage since the immediate threat has been handled. All right? Or you can send delegates in order to bring information back in order to learn about what status the city is in.
Here is what I suggest. I've already committed to Jenny and Wraith to assist you with the repair of your vehicle and the restocking of your vehicle, but it cannot happen like this. Your situation is not safe yet. If we can bring some stability to this place, then you have your 3 days to repair the rail driver. We have the supplies to stock it and carry on to help your people. If you run now, you have neither of those things.
I disagree. I say that we should head down to the rail driver, assess the damage in the night. Right now, they're not going to be coming for that. They're going to be focused on the governor's mansion. We should go down there. We can even stay there. We can stay in the rail driver. It's protection.
And what about the infected?
It's protected us from them before.
But there's a massive bus blocking it.
They had something to get it there.
Band-Aid. I just don't think it's possible what you want right now. If it was, then yes, but...
I'm sick of people taking advantage of us. We don't have any stake in this. This doesn't involve us whatsoever. The only thing we were fighting for is safety, and we've achieved that. We don't owe them anything. In this world, we have to take care of ourselves. There are people at the Livingston community that need us. We've made that commitment.
I point at the children that are sad and hungry right there and say, what did they need?
Don't use that against me. Fuck you.
Enough.
You're
There's
so
enough that there's enough. We can't do anything tonight. Even if you go under cover of night right now, you don't have the tools. You don't have anything. You would be able to assess and come back. Better that we would send someone else other than you. We need you, and you want to stay alive, and we need you alive.
Fine.
Let's hold up here at least until daylight. Even at least until right before sunrise, where there's a little bit of light and we can see the situation. But as long as we can keep everyone safe overnight, 1, 2 of us can keep watch for a couple of hours here. Everybody can get a little bit of rest. Let's at least do that. It's only a few hours.
I just think we should take advantage of the situation since we fought so hard to create it. But I'm willing to listen to the group.
The situation we're taking advantage of right now is that we are indoors somewhere that we can hold.
Are you sending anyone out to go learn more about the districts, or are you going to wait until...
Not in the night. I don't want to risk anyone in the night. They literally just spent the last 3 hours fighting tooth and nail.
Right.
I think
they're all exhausted.
Yeah, they've earned some rest.
Yeah. You get a weary and potentially restless 3 hours of sleep as many of your militia fall exhausted to the floor. They find whatever bedding and coverage they can from the discarded remnants of the villa, and they attempt to find some sleep in the drafty, open-air building that is now Osage Villa. The dawn of the 7th day.
We should make our way across to River Run to see what fate befell them there, and then find out what happened to the rest of the people in Summerland.
Chato, I hate to say this, but I think River Run has been lost. I think they would have joined us in that last fight, but they never came. I think they're gone, and I think that is a waste of time. I think if you want information about anyone who's willing to join with us, then we need to go to the people that have been sitting on the fence, waiting to see who has the power.
Our rail driver is closer to Heisenberg anyway. What if we all go?
You're all going to go to Heisenberg and visit the rail driver along the way?
I like this plan.
And if we're lucky, that paint is still there.
Maybe.
Maybe you can get Justice back over there, too.
And we'll accompany the people that are here.
Mm-hmm.
All of us.
I move out everybody.
Yeah.
So as you all go out of Osage Villa and you haul your militia with you, you walk through the gardens. Yes, checking, always alert, always aware. No signs so far of Kalarm's forces, but you do see a few interesting things along the way. At first, it seems to just be a pair of sticks. It doesn't seem like anything at first, but as you get closer, you see that they have been very, very particularly arranged and have a small coat of white paint on them. and they seem to form an elegant symbol. The large, long oval, as if it was a Zulu shield, with several lines going down the middle of it, 4 specifically. And amongst those 4 lines, you see that 2 intersecting pieces tend to make an arch, while a circle is in the center and a line comes down through the front. Not so much like this.
Haven't seen such a thing before.
Is that the symbol of the infected that we've seen like in the graffiti and stuff?
That's a different looking symbol. That looks more like this.
Okay. It's not that simple then.
It's not that. This is a little more elaborate.
Have I seen such a thing before?
You know, let me just roll for it, because it's really not as skill-based. It would just be what the likelihood of you seeing something like this
I've
is.
seen things in the spirit world.
No, you would have not seen this before.
Even if we do not know its meaning, something like this, it's presented for a reason.
Yeah.
It could be a warning. It could be a claim for territory.
Can we go in a different direction?
You said we've seen one, or we've seen many?
This is a single one.
And it's in the garden of the collapsed.
It's along the road.
I'd like to put out that as we began to move from Osage Villa, that at intervals of time, as we have continued to progress, I keep sending out that whistle call for justice.
That's great.
Regularly checking.
Yeah. Just occasionally getting through. Let me just make that.
Why are you whistling?
For hope. And for justice.
Let her do it.
Finding justice in a place like this would be a welcome change.
Wouldn't it?
Is it flat on the ground, or is it like sticking up like a sign?
It's flat on the ground.
Okay.
Sweep noted, but sweep very wide around it.
Sure.
Because I'm now wary of traps and explosives.
Of course. And as you walk around it and continue your path along to where the rail driver is, you go through a lot of the ruined buildings that are on the other side of Osage Villa. And this is some of the first looted and scavenged buildings that were part of this great city, when it was still a city and not a warlord community. But maybe not a warlord community anymore.
This is our spot listen.
Spot listen for me. See what clues you can find.
Is it good?
No.
Both I and the militia are like, what are we even doing here? There's no trains, man.
As you are exploring the area where you vaguely last remember the rail driver being, you see as the morning rays are gleaming down upon the remnants of the bus. And you can see the bus has been crammed in between 2 large brick foundations, which are pinning it so that it can no longer go along the rail line. It's there, but the rail driver isn't.
Well, we've got some detective work to do. First question.
Yes.
What happened here?
Yes, tell us.
All right, Constable.
Ah!
The bus does not appear to have been moved at all.
Okay.
Second question.
Where did it go? Perhaps it flew away.
You do see broken bits of the rail driver, a lot of nuts, a lot of bolts that are laying around, and occasionally a panel or 2 that seems to have fallen off.
Follow up. Is this damage, the scavenge that's come off of it, is it all centralized in one location, like around the bus, or does it sort of trail off in a direction?
Put that one down.
This one?
So you're on to the next one now.
It is centralized. Not only where the front of the rail driver is, but you can see it all the way back on the assumed length of the rail driver as well. So there are small pockets of bolts as you go down the line.
Wasn't the rail driver off the rails the last time that I had seen it?
It had been pivoted up, like it had been crashed and it had been tilted up into a tent. But so you could theoretically say that some of the wheels had come off the rail, but it hadn't completely fallen off the track.
Okay. And then my last question, I'm going to search for hoof prints or supplemental wheel prints for something that might have towed the rail driver in the other direction.
As you scour around the area where the rail driver was, you fan out your search a little bit. You can see a lot of footprints that have been pressed around. You can see there's a lot A lot of them, all mashed up in between in the soft ground, to the point of where the dirt has been packed. It looks like there's been a lot of people who have come to this thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Like tied ropes to it and are like pulling it.
That's too difficult to tell from footprints, but you can tell there has been a lot of footprints. You spend that one that's right there, I'll tell you a little more.
Tell me more.
You do notice that there are some wheel tracks.
How big are the wheel tracks,
Widthwise.
width-wise?
So like wagon wheel or like
More wagon wheel than large tire.
Or like a rickshaw?
Do these tracks, because this would be easily observable, have some sort of a tread, or are they flat and smooth?
Flat and smooth. Tracks are leading south into the city and not along the rail.
Perhaps from the higher vantage point, we can see something.
Let's go.
I would also say that before we go, we should gather up all these nuts,
and
bolts, and
bolts.
things that we've
Agreed.
found the scavenge that's here.
Yeah, pack them all up.
Right.
Shove them in a bag whenever
Right.
you can. You probably won't be able to drag the big items like the discarded panels or items.
Right.
We got like 70 people.
Have you brought 70 people out to this
Yeah,
place?
but I said we move everybody to Heisenberg.
Everybody came with us.
All right, everybody pick up a panel and let's march to Heisenberg.
Let's do it.
Because the idea is we're moving the vulnerable people to Heisenberg and our fighting
Right,
force is
right,
on the
right.
move.
It makes sense. As you move across the cleared freeway and you see the Heisenberg Bluffs water tower standing ominously for you. Your horse.
I'm like more or less ominously than usual. Is it leaning
not-
with a mean face on it?
Doesn't that come back?
Let's not come
Right.
back, despite your occasional whistles.
All right, so as she's whistling for this horse again, I'm like intrigued, and I go, "Oh, I can make whistle too," and I make my bird call
Yeah,
noise,
yeah.
and then there's a screech from up above, and I look up, and Max is circling,
What? Max got better.
and he came to rejoin me.
Bird friend.
Well, he's looking for Kent, but then he
Yeah.
responds to my call, and he flies down and he lands on my wrist, and I'm like just the most stoked person ever.
Stunned and stoked.
Yeah.
You can look and see his wing is a little shaky as you
Yeah.
got it, but it seems to be holding.
And I reach in my pocket and pull out a little bit of like a ration.
Okay.
Something, and I feed it to him.
He kind of pecks and eats away at it and goes and screeches.
Max. Bye.
Flies up again. So
I look
Yeah,
at
she
him.
doesn't, he doesn't.
All right.
I just look at
you
him
got
and I
Kent's
say,
Falcon or his raptor
Yeah, no,
now.
fair point.
Yeah.
I just look at him and I say, that is very impressive. Where'd you learn how to do that?
It's something that Kent and I practiced together.
This is your friend you lost.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
So you arrive at Eisenberg Bluffs. The gate is still shut, as a man appears to be peering over the top of the gates and sees your pilgrimage basically
children.
Children, many,
you're
many children.
moving forward.
I tell him, alert Corell that we've returned victorious.
All right. Alec, or Corell, comes down. I don't know if I actually accurately described Corell, but Corell had a long gown on with kind of flowing open arms that had like a sigil with this jug that I was telling you about. It is a, pressed tin sigil that he holds onto it. His are much cleaner than some of the ones that you see in the barter and trade.
Like a little water holding thing? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It was the chlorine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had the green chlorine vial. But you watch as he's kind of, when you have to run down steps, but you're just kind of putting the brakes on a little bit. Before he opens the gate, he steals himself for a minute and waits for a few of his personnel to arrive. And he opens the gate and swings and goes, "Shot!" Oh,
We're victorious.
you're not dead, and that appears to be proof.
I just start walking forward and I'm saying, we will talk along the way.
As people are walking by him.
Like arming
Yes.
people.
Band-Aid and I are gonna start
Shepherding.
shepherding the children forward, and I'm just gonna keep an eye out for anything.
I stand sentry with my rifle
Yeah,
just at the door,
keep an eye
kind of eyes up and out.
He doesn't seem happy, but he's letting it happen, as his armed guards, and his armed guards are not as armed as your armed guards. As people are starting to flood in, he walks alongside and goes, "Chateau, who are these people? These
Osage Villa.
The villa? Why aren't they in the villa?
They fought valiantly, but their home is temporarily compromised. I need to get them out of harm's way for the time being. And we need ammunition. Now.
The Chateau, we don't have enough room inside of the estates. There's barely enough for all of that are inside.
My old friend, it's been a rough couple of days. And I have an appointment in Summerland, and I cannot do it while caring for the injured and the young and those without the strength to fight. So I'm going to leave them here so that I can go and save you and everyone you care about. And I turn and I keep walking.
He stays there for a few seconds as he processes this information. Huh.
Ammunition! While I'm still walking up the hill.
You go and find yourself inside of the bluffs, and people are starting to come in. You can see a lot of the clerks and some of the water tenders and many of the movers. They kind of look to Alec as like, what are we doing? And he motions them kind of vigorously inside, and he goes back in. You see him kind of talking to one of his security personnel real quick, and then pats him as he turns suddenly and goes, "Welcome, everyone, to the Heisenberg Bluffs. Please find yourself inside. We'll be doubling up cots into each one of the rooms. Please make yourself comfortable. We'll do everything we can to make sure that you are safe until Chateau returns." And a rickshaw comes out with a couple of ammo crates.
I'm examining the wheels of the rickshaw.
To see
Sure.
if they match anything.
Alec leans over to you and he opens each one of the crates. You can see some small, intermediate, and heavy cartridges.
Great.
And he
Disperse
goes,
that amongst the fighting force.
Yeah, including ourselves.
Right,
So
yeah.
she needs more. I'll
"This
take
is all I
take-
have, Chateau. This
I
is all
understand.
I
All
have
needs more.
that I've come onto it, so
We will make them count.
I'm sure that once this is all done, we can come to a reasonable stand on compensation as well, too."
I believe your compensation will be no one will eat you. Here is the situation we find ourselves in. And my friends, if you would, this is an excellent vantage point for the entire city to search for your rail driver.
Yeah, actually, while you're talking, I feel like we should either hop up on the water tower wherever we can to take a peek.
Yeah, you are on an elevated, essentially, it's just a hillock that basically this estates has been built upon. It's not like a mountaintop or anything, and it's not as high as Stonebridge. As you look across, Stonebridge sits at a much higher elevation than where you are, but you can look out kind of over that valley between where Heisenberg Bluffs and Stonebridge is with relative ease as it kind of dips into its own little private valley.
So between those two places is the motor pool?
The motor pool and all of the scavenged.
Let's look at that.
Let's take a peek at the
Here,
water pool.
Ray, do you
My
have
binoc-
them?
No, you
I
have them.
I got the impression like where we are is higher than the water tower. Like it's like ground,
The water tower is
and then
on
we're
top of the
okay.
water tower.
Water tower's on
top?
top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, if you
Do I
want
have
to go
make a climb, or is it's just like a normal?
if you want to go up the water tower,
Yeah.
then it's going to take a few minutes,
Gotcha.
5 minutes or so to get up there, but no problem.
You don't need to check for it, right?
Right.
You're not under any particular duress at
Gotcha.
the moment. You walk up to the top of the water tower, you can see there's a man with a rifle who's already stationed up there, and he looks down at you and,
Yeah, and I just go.
"What's up?"
Got room for more up here?
"Oh yeah."
I'm Ray.
Gotta repopulate the earth, baby.
Tell me,
Where else, sir? Where else?
Gimme.
Kimmy.
Gimme.
Kimmy. Nice to meet you.
Nice.
You see anything in the last few days right over there? And I'm pointing near motor pool. Anything been going on overnight? Dang.
I've seen a few covered carts heading south into the workshops.
That place over there, I don't know it's called motor pool, so that in that
No,
area.
no, not the motor pool, the workshops. I've seen them come around the side, but that's not uncommon. They're always kind of dragging things to and from the motor pool.
I'm gonna take up the binoculars and see what I see.
In the motor pool?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 degrees of success.
Okay. So the motor pool is a generous name for what this is. Basically, it looks like a giant junkyard, with cars stacked on top of cars. Most of them have been scavenged and pulled apart. In fact, most of what you could assume this cleared freeway has been, like every single one of those cars has been stacked into towers and towers of repurposed cars.
So I see the junkyard and I say, do me a favor. You keep an eye on what's going on down there for me and give me a heads up if you see anything else. Hey, it'll be a chance for us to talk again, right?
You drive a hard bargain. But, what's your name again?
Ray,
Ray. I'll come find you, Ray.
be safe up here.
Yeah. See you later. As you go back down, he tries to get a couple of extra peeks out of it as you walk down.
So I hop down and I say, well, flirty dude upstairs has given me a little bit of information. It looks like it might not be as bad as I thought. I don't know if that area down there, that junkyard, is under your boy Kalarm's control right now. But I think it was just a bunch of scavengers who took the pieces of the rail driver.
Like they took it apart?
Like they took it apart. I mean, it only makes sense, right? Nuts and bolts on the ground. He saw a wagon, sort of like a wagon trail, heading down there. It would make sense. It's not the best news, but at least it means it's not in their hands.
It's weird that they left the bus, you know? There are a lot of parts on the bus, too.
Yeah, but the rail driver was legit. That bus was there to stop things from going along on the rail driver, to stop anyone going in either direction. That was set there for a purpose before we even showed up. Our rail driver shows up, that's like gold.
That would be several tons of scavenge. No small thing.
Well,
Did you happen to notice anything in Summerlin?
I did not, but I can head back up and do some more flirting and find out. Right on. Up we go, Tatas.
Missed him already.
So I climb back up and I go, you miss me?
Yeah, welcome back.
I gotta take one more look at something else besides your face.
What is happening?
Don't be jealous.
Don't mess
wow.
with my good mojo, okay?
So, you gonna stay longer this time?
All right. I, for whatever reason, maybe I'm just not tall enough to see over the fence on this side of the water
So the issue
tower,
with
whatever.
Summerlin is that Osage Villa, the palace, and several other tall buildings are blocking the
Right.
eye lines.
So I see that I can't see anything, so I turn around and I lean on the wall and I face and I say, what do you see coming out of Summerfield?
Besides the army of Kalarm's forces marching upon the palace?
Yeah, we took care of them. What else?
Good job, by the way.
Thanks.
Well, not much, honestly. When we first saw them right before it got dark, the siege was still ongoing. But since this morning, I haven't seen anything come out of the field yet.
So no one went back? You didn't see anything going back in that direction,
They
coming
did.
around?
They already arrived by the time dawn broke.
Were you on the watch all night?
No, I started at dawn.
And before that, before they marched on the government building, do you see anything else going in that direction either way?
Besides their fires, I haven't seen anything come out of this morning.
All right.
If they fled, they went back in while it was still night.
All right then. Back down. Third time's a charm. See you later. She just like pieces out. Just like peace out. What do you?
Now,
He loses.
That's all right.
He looks like he wants to say something so bad, but you're already halfway
Too much
down
woman.
by then.
he can see anything but an opportunity.
So I kind of like slide down, like, right. So basically can't really see anything because of everything in the way. But he says that other than the guys marching on the building, there hasn't really been anything else going in or out. I really think everything is down in that direction of the motor pool.
We have to drive Kalarm out once and for all, or your problem is not solved.
Okay,
you
well,
will
good
not
thing
have
that, yeah.
time to reassemble a train.
Here's the thing. We don't know where Kalarm went. He doesn't know if they fled. He was there pretty much most of the evening. He says he hasn't seen anything. We don't know where they went. We don't know if they went to the motor pool. Bring it.
You look over to the northern side of the Missouri. At least something catches your eye. Moving shapes along the edge of the field. And you see buffalo bison
Oh, shit.
riding along the northern edge of the field as a giant herd is basically moving. And there seems to be a few buffalo who are strayed behind it. Or maybe it's a buffalo on another bison.
Are they coming down the freeway, or they're just up north?
They're on the other side of the
They're on the
river.
other side of the
Did you just
river.
say a buffalo riding a bison?
Yeah,
Yeah, the Namurna.
No,
that's a bull.
that.
It's
As
across
we start
the river.
to hear this sound, I reach out for Ray. I say, "Glasses, glasses,
Take 'em.
glasses, please."
You can see these forms. They seem fairly small, as you get close, but considering that you can see such distinct figures all the way across the river is already a bad sign. Fruit trees and agriculture is just being like whipped away as these bison are just plowing through Whitfield, like the parts that are both crispy and burned, as well as the parts that are fresh and untouched from the fire. And you put your binoculars up and you look towards the back two bison that are currently chasing the other ones, and there is something riding it. It is huge. You can see that it has giant, broad shoulders, and it literally does look like a bison riding a bison because it has the skin of one draped along the back of its neck as long horns are pulling up from the top of it, as it seems to be wielding a club that's the size of a tree trunk, herding these bison. It will reach the freeway soon.
As like to cross over the freeway or potentially head
Right
over
now,
town?
it's just intersecting with
Yeah.
the freeway at this stage.
Keep watching. Like don't move an inch. Just keep watching.
Pony, what is it? What do you see?
I told you about the giant race. I told you about them, and here they are. This is what has been threatening Livingston. This is why we're here. This is why you've been sent in the first place. These are the infected who are threatening my people. They follow the bison. They follow the herd.
If we get rid of the bison, do we get rid of them? If we chase them away,
They're not
make
interested
them...
in us. They're interested in the bison, but the closer the bison come to us, the worse off we are.
Are you going back to look through the binoculars? You watch as one of the bison who is attempting to move breaks away from the herd all of a sudden as it comes down right towards the freeway. This larger one right on the top, as it comes right towards where the intersecting part of the freeway is, it makes that southern turn to try to come across the freeway right before it is rammed by another buffalo, and it is pushed as it is just trampled over, and this bison falls onto it, and you watch as this thing just leaps off with one small motion and then just lands on top of the bison, and with a club just starts wailing on it as hard as it possibly can, and it's pulling its head up as it's continuing to whack on it over and over again. A few others who are trailing behind seem to stop as they begin to feast.
I don't move until like this whole thing passes. Like I'm not taking anybody out of Heisenberg
Yeah,
until
no,
these people roll on.
no. So what?
So a few hours pass.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Are we...
bison-
Okay.
As you look through binoculars and watch this thing pick the body clean. They literally are cracking bones and just chewing on them. They disassemble a buffalo.
With ease and clarity.
It takes about another hour for them to feel complete enough to wander away, but they do. And as the infected finish their meal, the biggest one with its bison pelt sticks its head up and looks over across the river to where the city is before it grabs a hold of its mounting beast and it rides out into the field. Some of the other larger infected are galloping behind it as they run across the fields.
So I watch that and I say, so here's what I'm going to do. Carell, tell Stonebridge that Kamon is destroyed and that Kalarm is defeated.
Great. So, as you all leave, just the six of you,
No, I'm taking the fighting force.
the militia,
Yeah.
the fighting force, with your ammo in hand, and a very, very disturbed Carell. He acknowledged that he'll deliver the message or send a runner out to Stonebridge, but he's watching you walk out with the last of his ammo, and you can tell he hasn't said anything, but he is not happy.
I don't think anybody's happy.
Yeah.
Before we walk out the gates, I turn and I say, whatever you do, don't draw them in. They're not interested in you. All they want are the bison. Don't draw them in. Don't give them a reason to come and find you. Don't give them a reason to come find these women and children.
He'll have no problem. He's a coward.
He looks towards Wraith and looks towards you and just kind of turns around and walks back inside of his estate building.
Chato, I don't disagree with your plan, but a group this size will not be able to surprise Summerfield. They must have scouts of their own.
I'm not interested in surprise. They know we're coming. We will just come from an unexpected direction. And I have to know what happened to our people over there. They fought for us. We have to try.
As you go through and into the motor pool, you see a rugged iron wrought gate that seems to have been placed out in the middle of this graveyard of stripped cars. And Chato, you know this place. You put 2 brothers in charge of this motor pool as a destination to take all of the cleared freeway cars and put them into here. They're meant to basically provide raw resources in exchange for trade, barter, whatever it may be. But you basically gave them rights to all of the cleared cards should they store it, maintain it, and keep it safe here. So you know them. They are Nadi and Chochimo.
Nadi and Chochimo.
But you come up to the wrought iron gate, which was haphazardly placed around the border of this, as you look at the towering mountains of these stripped cars with a small sheet metal shed with plaster walls that's placed out right on top of the interchange of Route 54.
I said, Nadi! Chochimo!
The large, burly man with a rat tail sticks his head out through the side and goes, Chato! Hey, brother! Where are you? I can't see you.
Is it Nadi or Chochimo?
This is Chochimo.
Chochimo, if you drank too much, friend, I'm right here.
I don't have anything. No one's come for cars. But if you have something, come in, come in. Didn't they exile you? You watch as he opens the gate and throws the gate open. Oh!
Right.
Oh!
No, my friend. I'm just passing by. I have a question.
All right, and you watch as Nadi pops himself out of a 20-gallon bin that seems to be filled with various scavenging effects. As he goes, found it, bro, found it.
While he's doing this, I want to stealth and sneak in.
Right.
Go for it.
So.
Okay.
It's one short. It's 4 degrees.
I rolled a 96 for spot listen, so you're fine. He didn't even know you existed.
19 degrees of
So yeah,
success.
I'm using the various stacked up cars and other stuff as cover, and I'm just very quietly slipping from one to the other, and I'm looking for any evidence of our rail driver, any recent work that's been done.
And I asked. I'm just like, Nadi, my old friend. My new associates, generals in the army, in fact, have recently...
Army? What? Is there a war?
I just motion towards the 70 armed guys.
Ow! And he pops the hood back and just hides completely.
Honestly, the fact that they've made it this far and don't realize how terrible things are actually makes me happy. You know what? I don't want to take this from you.
Chochimo goes, "Whoa, Chato, you're not bringing all these people inside of my motor pool, are you?"
I sure hope not, old friend. I just have one question. Again,
Ask.
We recently misplaced a piece of equipment. It was a steam engine, a very nice one.
Steam engine?
Have you seen such a thing come through in pieces or intact? I know you know everything about the scavenge trade.
Oh, if Chochimo saw a steam engine, you would know that it would be here. But unfortunately, I have not. I have not seen a steam engine. I have not seen anything that would be steamy.
Do I know this guy's a straight shooter, essentially?
Yeah, you have been through a lot. You do know this man. Chochimo he's an honest man. I mean, he lives by the laws of Osage. All trades are fair.
Right.
But he is also very much an opportunist.
Right. He'd probably try and sell it to me, though, if he had it. Do I know him that well to be like, he'd try and sell it to me?
If he had it and you tried to sell it, who knows? That
Right.
if you wanted to flush him out, he is always open for a barter.
Right. I'm like, but if someone were to have a steam engine, I'm really in the market.
Well, if you're saying you're looking for a steam engine.
A very specific make and model. My engineer friend here is very particular.
What you looking for, girl?
Basically, it is a converted RV for the railroad.
Yeah, an RV on the railroad. That would be useful going down. Very useful. Mm-hmm. If Chochimo were to have learned about such a steam engine, what would it be worth?
Ray,
I'm in.
What is going on with my
Oh, that's right.
investigation?
Okay, yes, I'm
let's
sorry.
search, yeah.
Searching around. You're kind of looking through all of these just giant layers of cars. You go around and you see a couple of carports. You know those tented carports? You see that the walls have been fallen down alongside of it. It's like the cloth walls have been done. And
Yeah.
there are cars literally blocking it, like stacked along each side of it in this perfect little
Yeah.
like thing. Are you gonna go lift it up?
Yep.
So you get in, you find the carport, you lift up the flap to find a whole heck of a lot of really advanced machinery all in pieces. So workbenches with piles and piles of gear and material laid out everywhere.
Okay.
It does not look like a rail driver, but it is a lot of machinery and what looks like train wheels in various places scattered around. What would you like to do with your last one?
I'd like to make it back
And you make it back.
quite quickly, and then at a strategic moment, like in this conversation, when he's talking about like, oh,
What
if
would it be worth to me?
What would it be worth
Oh,
to
you know, what would it be worth to you if I had such a thing?
I'm behind him and I have a knife at his throat, and I say,
How about your
life.
life? No, I agree. I want my fucking rail driver back. If you tore it apart, I'm gonna tear you apart.
Chochimo, no.
Chato, what is this gray-haired man doing with a knife at my throat?
There's just one problem, Chochimo. They're the instruments of great spirits. So,
There are train parts, and a lot of advanced machinery in the back. Not something you would come by idly in this area.
could you explain to me the providence of what he says? I have no wish to harm you, old friend. I'm very tired.
I have no opinion one way or the other.
So, first, if we're going to talk, let's do it as civilized men. And he kind of tries to push your hand away as he...
I'm holding it fast at his throat.
All right, so he feels the resistance, yeah.
I'm gonna keep an eye out for Naughty.
Yeah.
He's gonna come in and get him.
Okay.
Well, we do have like 70 dudes.
I know.
I feel like everybody's a little jealous.
He feels the resistance.
My fingers are on the handle of my pistol.
Yeah. He feels the resistance of when he pushes his hand and goes, okay, this is your machine?
It is.
Well, it's a good thing Nadi and Chachimo found it, eh?
You know, it is a good thing that you found it, my friend. And I just sort of motion at you, like, to, like, maybe not kill him. I'm like, not kill him.
all right.
This is the don't kill him motion.
Yeah.
I just
It's
say,
so easy for Nadi and Chachimo to find the best parts in the motor pool. We had no idea what's yours.
you know, that is the way of this world, my friend. I do not slight you for it, but I do require it be returned to them. Ideally in a similar state to which you located it.
Chato!
Our payment is not killing you.
Yes.
I hired a lot of men to bring down all of that down here, and while my life is so important to me, also, if you take everything and I am out of that workforce to put it together, then I will starve. I will have nothing left.
Chochimo, you seem to be a drinking man. As I heard, we might happen to have some vintage wine.
We may or may not. I mean,
Why are we wasting our time talking to this thief? He must give us our things or we will kill him.
Hey, it is only a thief if it is stolen
That is
without
true.
knowledge.
That is true. What he has done is not thievery. What he has done is scavenge. However, this is the offer I make you. You might recall, you have this governorship of the motor pool because I gave it to you. Now, we are in a place where we are reestablishing dominion over this land, and I offer you continued rights to the motor pool,
Hey.
along with my personal thanks.
You know, I think this is probably a really great place for you to put together this rail drive of yours. And maybe even Nadi and I can help. Hey, Nadi! And he like slaps the side of the rubber bin a little bit, and it falls out in bits and pieces. God, Nadi is not in there. He is some at
pieced
some
out.
point.
Do that.
He had pieced out, but he is sitting in a car frame somewhere going, yeah, no, we can do that. We can make that real easy. We can put it together. Nadi took it apart. Nadi can help put it back together.
I'm like, naughty is nothing if not slippery.
Yeah!
Jenny's really upset. She's upset.
What do you say? You want to take a look at the old girl?
Yes, I do.
As he's kind of walking forward, he's pulling up his big pants with his kind of loose brown shorts. He's wearing sandals in a motor pool. Worst idea on the planet. But he pats Naughty on the side as he slowly walks over to where this carport door is.
I just say, I know you're upset. These are not evil men. There are many evil men around, and these are not them.
And Jenny, let's face it, repairing the rail driver on the train tracks in the middle of all this shit that's going on, that would have been near impossible without getting sighted. At least here we have some cover.
And some help.
At that point, Chochimo lifts up the flat, and you just see pieces everywhere. He goes, ta-da!
To be fair, it's in a better state than the last time I saw it.
I am so impressed that you were able to get steam from this thing. Please.
I know I'm not helping. And Chato really does laugh when he says that. This is hilarious to me, not to them.
Show me how you do it.
All right.
Can I just punch him real quick?
Yeah, all right, punch him.
I don't want to like really hurt him, but I want to punch him. You know?
punch him.
Okay,
Wait,
cool.
Just a little smack
Yeah.
across the face.
Okay, right.
Oh,
Yeah, you know what? I got a good brawl though, so it was only one failure.
He goes, ta-da! Feels his cheek for a moment. Goes,
Okay, and that gets Jenny smirking a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit.
all right, so you found the rail driver. It's at least laid out. It's kind of with friends, maybe? But at least you've discovered where it is.
At least they know we'll kill them if they do anything else to it.
They
So-
do. Nadi and Chochimo are people who love their privacy and they love their machines. They would not sacrifice that.
So, Jenny, I mean, let's try to estimate this. With these guys' help, how long you think?
Since it's in pieces now, and you have a few people with you, but you have no idea what level of mechanical abilities they're going to go.
Oh, we do have the invoice of who knows what. Do we have any surviving engineering or mechanic types?
We'll go through that.
Even if you pull the labor pool, it's gonna take D6 weeks. If you do a engineering check, I might be able to reduce that
To
with some
lower it?
degrees of success.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
all
okay,
right,
cool.
all right,
Yeah,
all right,
that's a success. That's 1 degree of success.
Okay, so
Love.
then we will reduce that by 1 week based on what I roll. So I'm gonna roll it, and then we can take a week off. How's that sound?
It's true.
Come on.
Instantly.
One. Oh,
3.
Okay, 2
2 weeks.
2 weeks. All right,
Oh,
all
2
right.
weeks.
All right,
Okay.
that's cool. All right.
That's what I
Not bad.
guessed. You know.
Yeah.
So you looked at this thing and you immediately you looked at it, at least, even though they took it apart, at least they kept some of the big pieces together, the big complicated pieces together. And you know that maybe with even if a little bit of their help, that makes up for the fact that maybe it's been taken apart. And you estimate it's going to be about 2 weeks of pretty rigorous work to get it all done, even with the help of some of your manual labor that you put together. So.
No, this is the
well-
steam engine we're talking about, yeah. Because a
the
motorhome
actual
would be
train.
a little easier to identify
The
as a single
motorhome,
piece.
and
Yeah.
I'm going to be very clear here at the moment.
another
I
single
did
unit.
say the rail driver, the motorhome, you haven't spotted it yet. That is probably going to be much, much easier, though.
I'll keep my promise and help in any way I can to stalk this. But we can't do that unless Summerlin is defeated. We have to unite these people and get commerce flowing if this is ever going to be seen to completion.
All right.
I'm willing to fight.
Great.
Do they have any type of working vehicle that we can somehow like ram into their front gate?
No
Okay.
working vehicles. There would be rickshaws. Probably the last Hummer that they were able to put together was probably forcefully taken from them by Came On.
With a 50 cal. Glad that wasn't here last night. I just say to him, Nadi, Chochimo, the fact that this war has missed you truly fills my heart. But please, just keep your head down, be safe, and don't be too greedy and do something stupid.
All right, Nadi pokes his nose. Yeah, that's what we do. Stay safe, stay away, and stay apart. And he pops his head back in.
I like them.
Right, so unless there's anything else, keep rolling.
Is you are making a navigation check, but mind you, this isn't for, I'm going to get lost, since you do, as you pointed out, there are several landmarks for where River Run should be. But there is always a chance that you're taking a group down an obstructed path, or there might be some difficult terrain that you can't move the group through.
I understand.
And that it's really just down to time. Now, I estimate based on your training, that it should take about an hour and a half minimum in order to make this work. You get degrees of success that might reduce that down to, less than an hour and a half, or it could be
Or
more.
more.
Right.
We'll take all the times.
Oh, we transport there. Site to site.
7%, 4 degrees of success. I'm incredibly motivated to find the people of River Run. I want to know what happened to
lightly
them.
So are our militia.
Yeah, you guys cut through and find essentially the perfect path. Like if this was a maze, you essentially found it on the first try.
Great Spirit smiles upon us.
You are being eloquently guided by Great Spirit. He has shown you the pathway, and the pathway is good. And even, I will say, it is so good that you never really ever even exposed yourself to Summerland and its potential invading armies. So, Wraith, tell me a little bit about this area.
A lot of this area has already been stripped completely. There are no gutters on the buildings, the phone lines and things like that. You can see places where cable has been dug up. It's weird. It's almost been reduced to prairie again in some places.
The flora has pushed itself up and it's broken all the foundations of the buildings, and things are tilted and slanted, and the grass is so high in most areas that you can't even see in through the windows because there's just so much overgrowth. You make your way through the scavenged lands and you come up upon River Run, and it's quite a shock. While the scavenged lands may have been picked clean, there is still a calm about it and some kind of peaceful nature. When you pass into River Run, you see and smell poor hygiene, rotting trash, fecal matter, and just death. You have run into essentially a shanty. And the only thing that denoted the outer scavenged lands to where you are is essentially a chain link fence in which the gate lays open in front of you.
I hold my hands out and I go, nest, nest.
It's not a nest.
No?
No.
There's no harm in caution.
Is this how it always is?
It used to be worse.
Shame lived near your people?
Do I see any sign of any living people?
You hear some dogs barking, and occasionally you maybe feel the shifting of people as maybe they're hiding, but no one's walking the streets openly at the moment.
You speak of your great spirit, and yet you allowed this, so close to your own home and your own people. This should be a shame on all of you.
Perhaps someone who has ridden days to beg for deliverance should not criticize those of us attempting to carry it out. And I walk forward into the town.
I have a bad feeling about this. I don't think... Okay.
You walk into town, you can hear the squishing of wet, sopping mud below you. You have here.
Yeah, all of us, I think.
As you and your people start to flood in, you can see broken rickshaws laid out in various places. The old buildings, the ones that seem to be part of this area, they're broken and ruined, but they've been reinforced with every amount of open available material.
I just want to raise my gun, just in case there's infected.
Sure. No, absolutely.
I'm quite aware we're in a dangerous place.
You're all,
as well.
all of you
all of us
are
will
battle
die.
ready.
Are we in the shadow of the prison? Because my understanding was there was the prison and the shanty town was around the prison.
You are in the shanty town around the prison. So as you're moving in, you are checking corners and you're looking around as you walk into River Run.
And I catch up to Chato as I'm keeping an eye on everyone behind me and go, Chato, what's happened here? I'm sorry, but this screams nest all over it to me.
Came on. The man we killed. The man who Kalarm and his animals served. They kept these people as cattle. And I motioned towards the prison and I'm like, they kept them there and they brought them out to kill them and eat them. We liberated them. We, Jenny, Wraith, Kent, liberated
and they came
them.
back here?
I was sleeping. I do not know. They've gone somewhere.
I know you know your people, but I am finding it hard to believe that anyone would come back here.
No matter how bad it is, a home is still your home.
I'm finding it hard to believe that anyone could do this to another human being.
If we are victorious today, no one ever will again. I'm not going to go into the prison.
Sure.
Because
But you see it, and
Right.
it is on a hill, as you remember. And the gates do seem to be open, though the building itself is still and silent as death.
I lean over to Wraith and I say, Wraith, do you have your mirror?
And you're gonna shine it into the window a
So
bit.
if anybody's looking, at least they'll see the glint and see an army outside. But
Right.
it'll be silent, though.
No response. But make a spot listen check.
Her body?
All,
me?
or just him?
I feel like everybody's looking.
Yeah,
Everyone's listening.
High alert.
Oh, I'm quite effective.
We're all quite effective.
So you are all good. Chato, Band-Aid. I'll give you some survival points for those. There's a ton. You do see there is a lot of remnants and fallen folk. Some of Kamon's and some of the River Run people.
And they're dead.
They're all dead.
They're dead?
Yeah, and you will probably, or tell your folk to go and pick what they can off of the bodies.
Is my sense a battle happened out here, or is my sense that they're all dead?
You sense that there was a battle out here, that there was some exchange in the streets, and that whatever happened a while ago.
Do we see any kind of like slash marks, scratch marks, anything that looks like it would be infected?
Bullet
Like-
shots, and bludgeoning damage, and cutting and slashing is what you see.
I don't think there's infected. They wouldn't have left the meat.
This is the work of men.
Roughly how close are we to Summerland?
Say a block and a half or so. You can hear the sounds of somebody cheering, not far from you. And out of nowhere, a man steps right in front of you. Rags, shield, you all hold your guns up. It is Paulo.
I don't know who that is.
He seems to be.
Yeah, yeah.
I do.
was like,
Because I'm not.
so excited.
I'm not too sure about this guy in particular.
Yeah, so you grab it, you
Yeah.
hold him as you
I
see
don't know who he is
Apollo.
either.
He steps in front after seeing something, and he had his gun laid out on top of his shield, and he drops them both and runs and embraces you. He smells of sweat and death and blood.
I just look up and say, "Are there any others?"
Chato, can you not hear them? We have won. Chato, we took Kalarm. Wait. And he runs back around the corner, and you see he's holding Kalarm's helmet in his hand as he holds it out to you.
I take it from him and I look at it for a second. And I put it on his head and I touch my forehead to it.
He has a moment where he seems ecstatic, but he quickly takes it off and looks and goes, No, they will not rule people in the image of what is once a tyrant. And he watches, he throws it down to the side as it clangs around and goes, No, if Paulo is going to guard Chateau and Osage, he will do it as Paulo. And he holds his arm up and has this resolute face. Yeah, there you go, right there. Holds on to it.
I'm kind of suspicious of this. Can I try to detect motives
Absolutely.
on this guy, which I am so good at?
I'm so moved. I'm
confused.
tearing up. I'm looking at
Yeah,
this. I'm
you
like,
got
I
it.
haven't
I
seen
got it.
You got
Community
it,
in
boo-boo.
forever.
So I got 2 successes.
So as you're listening to Paulo and you're looking at him and he's thrown this thing down, you can tell that there is sincerity coming from this man. But he does look at you from and goes, After your siege, in which we watched from the river, we saw them retreat. And we took whatever men we could from River Run, and we went and we routed them and met them in Summerfield and beat them down. They had so few left after your siege that it was easy pickings. And you hear him goes, I am so happy. He puts his hand on your shoulder. I'm so happy that it is over. I cannot tell you how badly I've been. Pow! And you hear as a gunshot racks out and it enters right through Paolo's head and it exits right out as matter just spratters and you hear a. As suddenly you hear gunshots and you see as one of the men goes, Paolo, no! And you watch as infected are starting now to climb out as they're rolling up on the beach, the side of the Missouri River as they're coming up, and you hear a man who just goes, oh, no, hurry, get inside quickly!
I'm running.
What was he motioning?
He's
towards the
motioning to a
prison?
building that is not far. It's a single-story, old ruined building that has a single entrance and a few windows along the side of it. It's barricaded, has a couple of boards onto it.
There's like 80 of us, so I mean,
Right. So you can all scatter into the building that you
Move
see.
towards cover though, because I don't know where that gunfire's coming from either.
The gunfire came from the riverside.
I just yell out, firing positions!
All right, as you all begin to find cover, as you look around, you see infected are starting to come out from the Missouri River areas, and you see some of them have started to grab some of the bodies that have held on to it and have pulled it up. They're river runners.
Actually, I hold my, if they're like pulling bodies back towards
Yeah.
the river, I hold. Like
Yeah.
I don't shoot for this.
And you watch as like a couple of them start running around as they're pulling bodies back, and you hear more machine gun fire. As you see infected are turning as bullets, and they fall over dead. And out of nowhere, a smoke grenade just comes out and it sprays across the side. As a man comes around.
Oh my God! Lucky Jenny. My name is Nathan Stern.
Shit!
And I believe you knew my little brother.
And that is the end of our season.